Hi everybody, John Cena here, and welcome to the FUNKQUEST Season 4 crowning episode. And by the power anointed to me by nobody in particular, we have awarded the Grand Champion Funkster title to Barb Braendlein. But before I allow Barb to put the crown on her own head, I have one question. Now then, books have cropped up quite often in the show, so I have a question, which is, where do you buy your books?
I have two favorite spots at the moment. I think it's always changing. My first is a tiny local bookstore on the eastern side of Washington called the Walla Walla Book and Game, and they're just resourceful. Like it's a neat little spot. I think everything I know about homeschool curriculum, the owner taught me. But right now, thriftbooks.com is my favorite.
Is it? What is that like?
Yeah.
eBay for secondhand books?
Probably. Yeah, I mean, I don't actually understand the full workings of how it works, but I figured out that this last year, it all started with reading Francis Schaeffer. And then you figure out who likes Francis Schaeffer. And that just led me down this whole rabbit hole of authors from at least 100 years ago. And you kind of need to find them used, is what I have found. And it means that you can go nuts and feel good about it. Because if each book is only about $3, well, there's a lot of trouble you can get into. Yeah.
So what does it do? Does it you buy something and then it recommends other authors of that ilk?
More, less the site and more observations, right? So if one of these authors quotes another one, and then you realize that all of the ones that he quotes, you end up liking. And so then you look and see, well, who does he quote? And the next thing you know, you're reading 500-year-old books because they're all quoting back. You know what I mean? But that's kind of the...
That's funny because that's what I did with my Rotherham libraries. If you're listening, Rotherham, hello. Go to the library, go to their website, order the books. When they're ready to collect, this is free, by the way. When they're ready to collect, they send you an email and or a text. You pop along to collect them. And it's like Christmas because I forget what I've ordered. And what I found was that when they, like you said, when they quote somebody else, I did go get that guy's books.
Exactly. I did. You know, it's funny is if you do something about the cheap book thing, it doesn't feel like such an investment if it's used. And I like that you'll end up with these books that have people's markings in them. And so you're either seeing a student that hated it, right? And so they've got little scribbles on the side, or you're seeing some teacher that's like, oh, they should read this. The quotes or the handwriting in the recent Chesterton book that I received, it's very endearing. Anyway, but if something about the cheap books, I put together such big orders that I forgot what I ordered. So it was a very similar effect. It's like, it's Christmas. There's 6 Irma Bombeck books here. That's
what's your strategy for deciding whether to stick or twist? Do you get to 50 pages, 20 pages, 100 pages, or do you just plow on regardless?
It depends, I think. There's certain books that I'm going to plow on regardless because I want to be somebody that can accomplish a certain kind of book, right? But I usually have at least 3 books going at the same time. So my total enjoyment reading is at bedtime. And so that, if it doesn't hook me within the first 1 or 2 chapters, move on because that's the enjoyable time of the night. There's usually at least 1 book that's open on the counter for when I walk by. So it has to be something that you can pick up and drop again easily. And then 1 midday book. When I get through schooling the kids, then I get my time to read on my own. And that's usually the one that's thicker and the one that I'm going to muscle through whether it hooks me or not. Usually my nonfiction,
What about Kindles and iPads and all that kind of stuff? Are you into that?
Morally opposed. I just hate it. You
book,
can't. It's not a book, right? And you can't fold down. I probably should have brought a book along because you can see this. But if you turn my book sideways, you can tell how much I liked the book because of how dog-eared they are. Like if the book ends up being twice as thick at the end, that was a really good book, right?
How dark the pages are means you've opened it like more times.
Yeah. And if I folded down pages and if I've penciled through the whole thing, I'm very abusive to my books because I love them. And a Kindle, I find when you do that once, you can't read anything else. You've underlined on your screen and it's like game over.
It's sterile. It is just sterile.
Someone, possibly a child, indicated that I should maybe start selling some of my books because we have run out of bookshelves. And I just thought, what an odd assumption. Like, to me, that means we probably need to buy another bookshelf, right?
Yeah, I said so, yeah.
Here we are.
Anyway, there we are. So with that answer, which is very funky, I, by the power appointed to me by nobody in particular, I award you the title Grand Champion Funkster, and you can put your crown or necklace on yourself. Now hold that up to the camera so we can see.
Okay. There was a crown. It's coming in the mail, but supply chain. So here's the closest to the crown jewels that I could come up with.
Excellent. Well, I'm sure there's going to be a round of applause by everyone listening. And we look forward to seeing you as a guest judge in future episodes.
It's been a blast. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And we'll see you in season 5.